Well, good afternoon. I know it's we're at the end of a long day and a half of the Expo Open. I know the conference is about halfway through though. But thanks for being here. So for the next roughly half an hour in this particular session, going to be talking about how to get twice the amount of work done in half the time, but specifically focused on what eLearning Brothers have been working on the past year, some of the new things we've launched, some of the new assets and products, and also going into some of the new search features that we've come up with and some of the enhancements there. What's on there? And then a little bit about kind of the future, where we're headed. But that's for the next half an hour. Then at that point, from about 2:45, building up to 2:55, will be some of the giveaways, and then 2:55 is when we're giving out some of the big asset libraries, and then giving away the last iPad in the string of like 10 or 11 or whatever that have been given out. So as a reminder, if you haven't signed up to win an iPad or some of the other giveaways, it just happens right behind you. All right. So my name is Andrew Sibley. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of eLearning Brothers. Our mission is to create eLearning rockstars. And really how we've tried to focus that in on is really how do we help developers like yourselves, and like what I've been before I was working on this, how do we help us be rock stars? And so for us, that was always around source files. So you've chosen a tool to use, and it might be Storyline, Captivate, Lectora, Camtasia, PowerPoint, whatever it is. You've chosen a tool, you've invested money in that and time in that to learn it, and that's great. So we just want to help you be better in that particular tool. So really building assets around that and everything. So what have we been working on the past year? So we've had some exciting things come out. One of the fun ones that we were able to do, we were able to come out with a new icon library. So for many years, we had people talking to us about, hey, icons, you just have icon sets and just thousands and thousands of them, where are you getting those from? And so we're finally able to create this. So the new icon library launched late last year, something like that. We've got over 50 different categories in there, 20 different styles of each set of icons, and they all come in PNG and SVG. So the cool thing about it, again, the focus being on you being a rock star, with a PNG or an SVG, especially that SVG file, you can grab that and open that in Illustrator. You can take that into PowerPoint if you want to, ungroup it all, edit all the different pieces and colors, and all the shape points are there, so you can do everything that you need to with that. So for example, here's some of the icons right here, and then if you come up here, you can filter by styles. So if I come in here and click carbon copy, it lets you quickly go in here and search for all the different stylized icons that are all the same, so you don't have to like search around and see what's available where. Come in here and do like cotton, and check that one. So when I go into these, let's say I want to do the pain point one here. Come into that. Now, of course, I'm logged in right now, so I'll see all the download buttons available. And I'm just in library.elearningbrothers.com. That's the main place you can browse everything. But see right here, I can get the PNG file and I can get that SVG file. These are brand new. We launched them late last year, and then I think last week we launched another, we went from 50 to 75,000 last week, and just launched a whole bunch of new styles. So these just barely came out with this particular style. All right, another exciting thing that we've been working on this past year is really around beefing up our people cutouts area. So for a long time, I worked at JP Morgan Chase, building out content and all that, and a lot of times I'd want to have a character narrating my files or building a scenario around it, or we had a bunch of characters like tellers and branch managers and whatever. And so I'd always go out to iStock image, or iStock whatever, find a character. I could sometimes find that character clipped out, but usually not. And I never found him in like 5 different emotions and poses and all that. I'd find like the person in like different clothing sets, but that didn't really help me. So I'd take the image, clip it out. I'm not awesome at doing that. My brother was really good at it, but mine would have like the stupid little jagged edges around it, wherever the magic wand didn't do a good job. And so what I would do is I'd use Karen and I'd have her in my course. She's the branch manager, and then when I wanted to do like different slides, I'd like cut her arm off and kind of move it a little bit, or cut her head and tilt it a little bit, so it looked different. I'm like, well, that's kind of annoying. So early on, about 10 years ago, we started going into the character business and really going in there and saying, okay, I want a character with 50 to 200 different poses, emotions, but I need it all on a clipped out, transparent background. I don't want to clip it out. I don't want to mess with it. I just need gestures and poses and all that. So the past year, we added over 100 more characters. Let's see, the one in particular, we were trying to beef up some international flair. We've been to Mexico and London, China. We did on-site shoots there. This past year, we were able to get a whole bunch of characters out of India in different type of attire and clothing there. And we were also able to beef up the illustrated images. So able to go into there and mix and match a whole bunch of different illustrated characters. So so right now, it's over 100,000 images, over 1,000 different characters. And again, on those illustrated files, it wouldn't be our model if we didn't give you the source file. So when we started adding all the new illustrated stuff, we gave you the Illustrator file. So when you come in here and you look at, let's pull up Aaron that we've added recently. Pull that up. When you download this particular one, you can get the PNG of them or whatever. But in the first icon of every illustrated character you see from us, you see the illustrated file. So if you click on that, you can tear every single piece of him apart. You can change all the colors, steal his shoes and put him on a different character, change the pants, whatever it is. Take off the hat. So again, completely customizable for you to do that. Again, just trying to make it quicker. It's not, you may have the skills to create your own characters, but if you don't have to, then don't spend the time doing it. So another exciting thing that we just started launching are styles. So I started thinking that when you start a course, you just need something beautiful. It doesn't do it's not super helpful if you have like 1,000 templates and they all look like 1,000 different visuals and styles. So what we started doing was coming out with these styles where each one of the styles comes with 32 files that are all branded the same, they all belong together, and then went and built them in Storyline, Captivate, Lectora, PowerPoint, and just gave you those files. So for example, if you were to roll over these, right, you can start going to the search results for just that tool. I went ahead and pulled one up here. But each style that we've launched, and this is something we're pushing big into the future here, so a lot more styles that we want to come out. We think it's all about, I like to joke around this at times, and you may or may not agree with me, but I say a lot of times, as an e-learning developer, I'm a shallow e-learning developer. And what I mean by that is, once I was sitting on an airplane, and I'm just kind of watching the guy next to me, he's just flipping through a magazine or whatever, and just going, and he would stop for a second, and he'd kind of go, and then something would catch his eye, and he'd read a little bit more. I said, unfortunately, we're kind of that way. We just go until we see something nice, we're like, oh, wait a minute. And if it's nice enough, we'll look a little bit more, and if it's intriguing enough, we might actually read it. And so I kind of think the same way about e-learning sometimes. It needs to look really good, and if it looks really good, someone will actually read your course. It can be well written, but if it looks like junk, no one's going to care. They're going to look at it right away and say, that's a piece of junk. And it could have been like the best written novel ever, but it doesn't mean anything. So we're focusing a lot on styles. So what the design team just launched, each style with 32 files, and then they have interactive components, so you can see, there's all sorts of click and reveals and tabs and drag and drops and glossary ones. And then you come down in here to the different scenario pieces. And then there's a layout one, which I'll show you. But just all these different interactive elements that you can pull into a style, and you just have to drop in your content. You don't need to worry about trying to make it all look like it fits together. And then down here at the end, our popular choice game that we branded also in that. So in the future, what we want to do is keep creating new visual styles, but then also keep adding to the existing ones. So let's add in another game, or let's add in some more interactions, and just keep branding those and beefing up those styles. So when you click on this particular one, like, let's see here, layouts, this file right here actually contains a lot more than just one file. Just tons of different simple layouts to get you started in your course. Let me catch up with me here. All the animation, everything's built in there. It's a little jumpy on here, but you get the idea. Now remember, I would say 99% of the stuff that you see in our templates was built natively in the tool. So if you're in this file, and this one's built in Storyline, all of this, all the objects and everything were built in there because we want you to be able to go in and just be able to tear it all apart and not have to like jump into Photoshop and build a bunch of stuff and then import it in and all that kind of stuff. So occasionally we'll throw in some images, and obviously a photograph wasn't created in Storyline, but all the rest of the stuff is. All right. The other thing we realized is we deal with a lot of different user levels. So, you know, beginners that just are barely starting, all the way up to the person that's like, hey, I could build this stuff with my eyes shut. And I say, that's okay, you don't have to though. You can build other stuff with your eyes shut. So we deal with the novice user. It's like, look, hey, thanks for building this. I didn't know how to. And I'm like, glad I could help. Here's the source file. Go learn how we did it so you can be even better. All the way up to the one that's like, I could do it in my sleep. And I'm like, great, I just saved you some time now. Spend that time doing something else. Take it to the next level. But we realized that we needed to be better in our support area. So what we did is we created actual support videos for every single type of interaction and file that we have. So when I showed you those styles, 32 files means 32 support videos where you can come right in here and say, okay, how do I work on the standard timeline? And there's a support video that will walk you through exactly how to deal with that file that you're looking at. So a lot of times we kind of thought, oh, this person understands Captivate, they'll get it, but we want to make it even more basic just to help you exactly how you needed it. Now, even if you're not a customer of ours or whatever, that's fine. Go out to support.elearningbrothers.com, and there's all sorts of videos out here that help you use the tool that you've purchased and invested your time in already. All right, another piece, we're thinking, how do we take these templates to the next level? We know that everyone's wanting to do XAPI stuff. And if you're like normal people, we don't really know what that means, and that's okay. But we start thinking, all right, how can we help with that? And so if you were in the last session with Bill Milstead, he's been spending a ton of time in the three main tools that we deal with right now, the Storyline, Captivate, Lectora. And we've been building in XAPI components and calls into every single one of those style files. So the 32 files in each style now have all the callouts and all the triggers that you need to do XAPI data from those. So when you pull up a drag and drop file, there's a master like variable that says, do you want to use the XAPI or not? You turn it on or off. If you turn it on, all this stuff becomes active, and you can see how we did it. You'll see all the triggers we built. You'll see the little JavaScript segment that we put in there to build the calls and all that. And it would automatically tell you, like we went in the template and said, when you click on dragger A and you drag it to target B or whatever, that's what it's spitting out to the LRS. And we tested it in all three of those tools to make sure that when we connected it to an LRS, and we partnered with a company called Veracity, that they're all working. It ties in there, it tracks the data, and so now you can get your basic XAPI stuff out of each one of our style templates just right out of the box. You don't even have to know what you're doing. You'll pull up the report and it'll say like slide name, it'll say like dragger A, and it'll just start giving you that information. But again, since you have the file, you can go and change all the names to whatever you want to so it makes sense for you. But it's just ready to go. So with Veracity too, they're not here, but we did work out a deal with them. So when you're at our site, if you're one of our members, you actually get like a souped up free version from them. So you don't even have to pay for the LRS at first either. You can just be using theirs for free. I think we got like double the space that their normal users get. So you can go out there and test this out and try it out and do whatever you want to without having to go pay for an LRS. The other piece there in our support area, if you want help with XAPI, we've been creating videos out here around the tools to help you understand if you're a Storyline user, like how do you do XAPI in Storyline? The video shows you exactly what we did. So typically it's not a secret how we do stuff, again, because I give you the file, but the point is we're just trying to make it easier for you and allow you to get kind of a jump start with your stuff and use your time doing other things if you want to. So again, we usually open up the curtain and just show you how we did it all, but we're hoping that you can do things faster and that we can build a better community. All right. Let me pull this one up here. So another thing that we've been trying to do to help developers go faster is we've been thinking, it's like, okay, you've got this wide spectrum of content development. And where we're really trying to go is, look, we want to be able to help the DIY people. We want to be able to help all those in the middle. And then rapid custom solutions or custom solutions. And so as we kind of said, what's the next evolution of templates? We thought, well, what if we just give them the whole course? So if you're looking for, I don't know, a fire safety course or a forklift safety or some soft skill negotiation skills, why don't we just build the whole thing and give it to you? Now I didn't want to, I'm like, well, that's, if it fits the ELB brand, like what's it going to be then? Well, it's got to have source files. So we just barely launched this at the end of last year. We've been adding a bunch of new stuff around safety training, professional soft skills, and then sales process training. And in here, it's basically, if you want like a super template, go to the next step. You say, look, I'm looking for, I don't know, a forklift safety. You come, you get the entire course from us built in, again, one of the three main tools that we use, and then also in PowerPoint. Get the whole thing from us, open it up in Captivate, tear the whole thing apart, throw in your logo, your colors, add stuff, whatever you want to do with that. So we thought, okay, that's one component. I want to give you source files. The other component is, well, it better be good content. So we got some safety partners, sales partners. We hired some people, wrote out all the content. And then the other piece we started thinking is, well, how can it be different from some of the other stuff on the market? Like we're not that big. We can't compete against like Skillsoft and like a billion different courses. However, I'm like, all right, let's give them source files, which no one will ever give you source files. Let's give you good content. And if it's not exactly what you're looking for, it's okay, go change it. And then the third component is, although our name says eLearning Brothers, we know that it's not just e-learning in the world. It's blended. There's lots of different ways to learn content. So we built out all the classroom training material as well. So in every course, we're like, look, here's your Storyline file, here's all your classroom materials, participant guide, instructor guide, all the PowerPoint, the quizzes, job aids. Here's the whole thing and all the source files, mix and match and do whatever you need to with it. If you want to build lunch and learns or onboarding, classroom, online, refresher, whatever it is, doesn't matter. It's all right there. So that's a big thing we've been working on this past year. And I'm just trying to find a way to kind of create the next evolution of templates, really, right? And kind of fill in the gaps that we were having in the middle there. And then I would say another exciting, we finally did our first VR project, which is kind of cool. A lot of people are saying, hey, we're building VR and all that, and I keep asking to see it. They're like, oh, well, we haven't actually done one yet. But that's been really fun, and I'm trying to think, are there VR templates? Are there more mobile-first templates? What's the next evolution of XAPI templates? Another one, I'm thinking around like 508 compliance, and what more can we do around templated stuff for that? And so, any ideas that you have around that and what you think we should be doing next, I would love to hear. So, and I'll even give you credit for it too. I'll throw you on some webinars and put your face. You can be a cutout character if you want to. We'll see how that works. But the last thing I was going to point out that we've been trying to work hard on lately, we were lucky enough to bring on board a gentleman named Marty Rosenheck, learning experience design. He's been around for a long time and smart guy, and I know he's really smart because I only understand like every fourth word that he says. But he came on board to help us do a lot more around kind of experience management and strategy and all that. But he brought in a tool called Trek, which has been really fun for us. And really this idea of tracking, learning experience management tool, and how do you track all the formal and informal stuff that people do to become competent in a skill. So if I say, hey, look, I'll go back to forklift safety, it's not enough that you took an online training course. You probably should go to the machine and actually demonstrate you can do something. You should probably do some trial runs. Maybe you should talk to the guy that got hurt yesterday and he can tell you what he did that you shouldn't do. Your manager should watch you do it. So there's all these other pieces. And this fun tool that he brought into the business with him is it just tracks all of that. And there's a mentoring piece to it where the manager can say, yeah, I saw Andrew drive the forklift today, I can verify that, and it just puts all that learning path together, which has been a lot of fun. So the future here as well, we're loading all of that into this product called Trek. Some people come to us and say, I don't have an LMS and I actually don't have an authoring tool and I don't want to worry about it. Well, we're putting all this training into that tool and mixing it with videos and coaching sessions and all that. So people can say, I just want forklift safety out of the box as an experience management tool. And so we're hosting all that as well. But then again, if you wanted the source files, we're giving them to you and saying, all right, now you've got it in this experience platform. Here's your Captivate files. Do whatever you need to with it. So anyway, that's really where we're taking all this. I know I was talking really, really quickly. Were there any questions, or are there questions around that? Any questions around why we do something a certain way, or? Okay. All right, so here's the plan over the next 10 to 15 minutes. This part of the session is done. What we always do, if this is your first time with us, welcome. If it's not, you know what's coming. Now we'll be going into, at 2:55 is the actual drawing time for the remaining iPad, and there's some other stuff in there as well. Leading up to that, we're going to be doing some other drawings and stuff like that. What we'll do is, in about 5 minutes from now, we'll start doing a couple drawings. We're going to be giving away full access, annual access to all of our templates. We're going to be giving away some of these courses, and then of course the iPad, and then we've got some swag and stuff, and something else will probably pop into my mind that I'll end up giving away as well. How it works though is this. If you haven't signed up back there to get on the list, you have to do that. We have your phone number, we text everyone to make sure they're here, and then we call a number. If you pick up your phone, we say, hey, this is blah, blah, blah with eLearning Brothers. Are you in the expo? You're not? Okay, goodbye. You have to be here. So if we call your number and you're somewhere else, you lose. So anyway, again, 5 minutes from now, we'll start doing some smaller stuff leading up. Make sure you get on that list though so we can give you a phone call. Thank you.